It's another defeat for Jimmy Thelin and Aberdeen in the most difficult of 3 or 4 days for the Dons. But for Hibs, a win on the road and a big one. They thought it was 3-0. The third was chalked off. They had to settle for 2-1 in the end. But that, Michael, we can talk with Hibs first. To come up to Aberdeen and pick up 3 points is a big moment for David Gray.
Yeah, it is, and it just it feels as if Hibs are finding their rhythm now. They've dropped far too many points this season, but now you look at that strong performance and result at home against Livingston. They've now followed it up against Aberdeen away from home with a really strong performance. Could have been more, perhaps should have been more, but it's still 3 points, and the momentum is definitely building for Hibs.
Well, the final score, Aberdeen 1, Hibernian 2, and Michael, if you can name your man of the match.
Well, for me, the man in the middle of the park, Dan Barlaser, was outstanding right throughout. Anchored the midfield, always looking for the ball, always looking forward as well. Great composure, reads the game very well in there. For me, Rory, in amongst quite a few, Dan Barlaser was outstanding. He was my man of the match.
Well, thank you very much, Michael. Joyous celebrations for Hibernian, for Aberdeen. The dissenting voices will just get louder. The full-time score at Pittodrie, Aberdeen 1, Hibernian 2.
Thank you very much for that, Rory. Hibs with back-to-back victories. Only one defeat this season so far in the league, but worrying times for the fans in the North East. The anger, the boos we've been hearing reflect the 6 defeats they've had in the league already. Jimmy Thellin's been, as we know, given the full support of the owner. 15 players out, 13 players in. Alan Hutton, Charlie McGrew alongside me, but the defensive questions, the questions about the lack of goals, the lack of ability to score, these are the questions that understandably the fans are beginning to ask, and they want answers to them quickly.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, I think they were slightly better in the second half. They created a little bit more than they did in the first, but ultimately defensively they're all over the place. Like literally there's gaps everywhere. That's 8 goals, 2 games, not much coming in the way of attack. And it's a problem because when Jimmy Thelin first came into the club, and there was so much praise being given out from the style of play that they had. They used to move the ball really quickly, switch it from side to side, get it down the line, cutbacks. Papagay at the time was scoring lots of goals, and they've just went totally away from it.
But these fans right now, and we'll get back to Aberdeen in a second, we saw Timo Clegy there just enjoying the moment, being, you know, put towards the fans to have his time. But it's, you know, there have been question marks around their performances, and again, looking at the score sheet, could have been more. Maybe the final score today sort of skews the performance from both sides in total. But it's a really important win for Hibs today. Let's make no bones about that.
The second half, they defended so well the situations where Aberdeen potentially were a bit more threatening in the final third, but they just never ultimately made chances because of the defending for Irondale, for Grant Hanley, O'Hara. They just defended so well last ditch, kind of kept and then broke away. They just pace to break away, and they could have had 5-6 goals in that second half. They just looked so threatening, even though it was a lot on the break. So yeah, they were really impressive today, Hibs. They've really showed it up at the back, and they'll be really disappointed. That's a funny thing, that they never get a clean sheet, because they deserve a clean sheet. Yeah,
I'm looking right at my notes from this, and I'm thinking chance, and we were going to talk about the missed opportunities, and then when at one point it was 3-0, doesn't seem maybe as kind to go over the fact that they weren't being as clinical in front of goal, but that's definitely something that David Gray is going to be looking at. It's going to be definitely a coaching point for him, thinking, right, if we've created this amount of opportunities and it's still 2-1.
Yeah, of course. I mean, when he sits down and analyses it, he'll want more goals. He'll want the game put to bed early on, and possibly could have. They created so many chances, and I thought defensively they were really good. And you're right, David Gray will be devastated that they lost that goal, because defensively I thought they were top, and it just shows you switch off for 1 second and then a goal can come about. But look, he'll be happy with coming up here and getting the 3 points for sure.
This season they've scored goals in games. We've seen them 3 each with Dundee United, we've seen them 2 each with Falkirk. The disappointing thing for them is scoring 2 and 3 goals and not picking up wins. Now they've sorted out the defensive side of things. You score the goals, you look like you can score more. and you get your wins. It's really good to see how he's worked on that defence. It'll be interesting to ask him what he's done with the team there, but Hanley coming in has obviously played a huge part in that.
Yeah, and we'll hear from David Gray shortly. Let's have a look at the table though and how things are sitting at this stage of the weekend. Hearts top, 8 points clear of Celtic by Hibernian. Look at that, just 3 points behind Celtic in second, but Aberdeen just a point ahead of Livingston, who are rooted to the bottom of that table. So good afternoon for Hibernian. This ended up being the winner. Ellie Ewan with the strike. We'll hear from the manager, David Gray, and get some more reaction from Hibs just after this short break. Let's get some reaction now from the winning team. Hibs, Thibaut Clichy is alongside Dan Barlaser. They've been both speaking to Stephen Craigan.
Daniel, first of all, you must be delighted with your own performance, but overall as a team to come here to Pittodrie and get a big win, everyone must be ecstatic.
Definitely. Obviously off their result midweek, we knew that it would be a big chance to get another win on the back of a win at home. So delighted, just unfortunate that we didn't keep a clean sheet in the end.
It's taken you a little while to get into the team, but I think if you keep performing the way you did today, you're going to be hard to dislodge. So you must be delighted with your form and how you're moving forward.
Yeah, it's good. It's just like the way we play, especially in the sixth role, you get a lot of the ball, and obviously with lads like him up front, it's quite easy to play the ball in bind because of that quick.
Is it disappointing that you didn't find the back of the net more today? You were dominant for long spells and you didn't put the game to bed?
Definitely, yeah. I think we hit the post twice, I think it was there, and obviously the third goal, unfortunately, was offside. So I think we could have maybe been a bit more professional at the end, but you'll take 3 points away from home any day of the week, so we'll take it.
Thibaut, another goal, another win. You must be pleased with regards to your own form.
Yeah, it's a pleasure for me, and the whole team is happy today, and we have confidence from the last game, and today we did it again.
Very similar to Daniel, you've had to be patient, you've had to wait your time to get into the side, but you're now starting to show the qualities you have and that goal-scoring instinct that made the club go and spend the money and bring you to the Easter Road.
The club believe in me, and they brought me here, so I have to give them back what they gave me, just make confidence. And for the next step, and everything will be gonna be okay.
And it's a strong squad. When you look at the players who are coming onto the pitch and making a difference, when you're in that first 11, you have to play well to keep your place.
Yeah, it's football. Players on the bench, they are good. They are not bad. They are not bad. So when they come in, they try to prove themselves, and that's happened. The most important is that we win. And I'm happy.
Daniel, back-to-back wins for the first time this season in the league. Now 3 points behind Celtic. You have to look above yourself. A big game to come on Wednesday night against Rangers. The squad must be just thinking anything's possible at this stage.
Definitely, the gaffer spoke about back-to-back wins and how hard it is to do. So we're delighted that we've got that, and we can take confidence into Wednesday night at home and give it a right go.
Well, Daniel, you're the man of the match. Thibaut, if you could do the honours for us, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much.
Really interesting hearing Dan Barlaser talking about the need to be more professional after, as he's rightly said, coming here, it's never an easy place to come and getting 3 points.
Yeah, well, nobody wants to lose goals, I suppose, especially when you're 2-0 up. You want to see out the game, and clean sheets and everything like that is a massive part of it. So, yeah, I mean, as long as they win, I mean, that's the be-all and end-all for me. Coming here to a difficult place and getting 3 points.
It is, but then the emphasis has been on clean sheets. So being a defender, Grant Hanley, I know, will be hurting in there a wee bit. I know it's as a centre back, that's kind of what he's thinking. Can we get a clean sheet? And they never got it, should be hurting. But listen, to come away and win the game here is a great performance, especially the way they attacked and the way they defended. Thibaut
Clichy, they're talking about the pressure maybe that's on his shoulders, given the fact he's come in for such, a large sum of money. But he still had to fight for his place.
Yeah, of course. I think the way they were set up with Martin Boyle and Kieran Bowie, they were playing well. So I think the fans had to be patient with him. I know they did spend money on him and they want to see the best of him, but to do that, you need to allow him to settle in. And I think that's what David Gray's managed to do. He's getting a run of games now, so we're seeing the quality that he has and that pace. It's scary for defenders.
I'd said, I think we remember talking to David Gray the last time we were at Easter Road, and I'm saying, what more does he bring, given the options you've already got? And he said just that, more options. And actually, you saw that was pretty evident today.
Yeah, he is, and what he surprised me is, we spoke about it off air, is how good he is in the air. He's got a spring, it's deceiving as a defender. You think you're going to go and win it, you're playing against a small striker and he just comes and flicks at the last minute. So he has got that ability to do that, and the pace in behind to then bring him off, or to bring other players off and Bowie off and put Boyle on, it just shows you the strength and depth this Hib squad have.
You've been impressed with him?
Yeah, I have. From what I've seen so far, I think, like Charlie says, he's got a lot of attributes to his game. It's not only pace, and we're starting to see it now. And I think the more that he plays, the more he'll just grow in confidence, and we'll see it.
Yeah, and power as well with the goal. We'll look back at that in just a second. But from David Gray's perspective, coming up here, sitting in third place again is the be-all and end-all at this point. But given the fact that they are, I don't know, beginning to get something back again. And we spoke about that as well just before the game, and it feels as though that's maybe, in fact, we can go to him right now because he's live with Stephen Craigan, as if by magic.
David, thanks very much for joining us live in Premier Sports. Mixed emotions at the end of the game. You thought you were 3-0 up, then you were hanging on for a 2-1 victory, but I think overall you must be delighted with the performance and level of performance of your players and your team.
Yeah, I am. I think it was quite a strange last 30 seconds to thinking you're 3-0 up to almost hanging on towards the end, or that feeling, having to defend your box. But listen, I thought we were fantastic in the game. If we'd been a wee bit more clinical, maybe made it a wee bit easier for ourselves earlier. But in saying that, I think Aberdeen had probably the best chance in the first half. We got away with that one. And then if we'd been a bit more clinical, I think we could have made it a wee bit easier for ourselves. That doesn't happen. You find yourself only 1-0 up, and then the goalkeeper makes a big save once we've hit the post. So there's big moments in the game that went for us today. But I think the players deserved it for what they put in and the level of performance. It's never easy to come up here and win, and it's brilliant for us to go and do that. Back-to-back wins, winning after winning, challenge the players for that, how difficult that is to do, and I thought they deserved it today.
You mentioned back-to-back wins, but I have to say it was a very strong and commanding away performance, a very mature performance from your team, and just shows you the steps and the strides that you're making over the past few weeks.
Yeah, I think, as I said, internally, the level of performance, listen, I think we've not always got the rewards, I can say that. We've got away with things at times. The complete performances, we talked about that. I've got boys in there that are disappointed we've not kept a clean sheet, so that's a really good habit to get into as well. But we've got subs coming on, impacting the game, a really strong squad. I talk about that all the time, and the level of performance needs to be there because you've got competition for places, which is a real healthy thing. And then coming up here and winning, and that feel-good factor, that winning feeling that comes with that, is a very good thing that you want to hold on to as long as you can.
I know you probably don't like to speak about individual players, but I have to say, particularly in the first half, I thought your midfield three were excellent. They just give you a real foothold in the game. I know you outnumbered Aberdeen 3v2 in that area, but you utilised the extra man and posed problems and dictated the play.
Yeah, I thought it's one of them, when you look at, you could say we had the extra man, but then when Aberdeen play with the 2-10s, they almost create like that box in there. So we knew we wanted our 2-8s, let's just say Jamie and Josh, to go really aggressive up against their 6s, which to try and get a foothold in the game, to try and go up against them and be on the front foot, and Dan being the one sitting either side to giving you that pivot in the middle of the pitch. I thought it worked well. As the game went on, once we found ourselves 1-0 up, we lost a bit of confidence in that. You maybe naturally start to drop back. I'd have liked us to stay aggressive with it. But at the same time, you need to give credit to the opposition. They then start to try and find solutions to upset your structure. But all in all, I thought it was a real good defensive performance across the board, and a real good team performance.
Special mention for Thibaut Clige. He's had to be patient. There'll be a lot of money spent, a lot of speculation around him. 2 goals in 2 games, that'll do him a world of good.
It will. Fully deserves his goal. Took it well. I thought he was a constant threat again. You can see what he brings. He's always on the shoulder. He wants to run in behind. His work rate out-jumps his height as well at times. You know, he's very good in the air for his size, and he has had to be patient. But we've been patient with him as well. I've said that's been a very much a two-way thing, and not to expect too much too soon. We always put a lot of pressure on players, especially strikers. You know, when people bring in players and sign players, that you expect them to be superstars straight away. We've got plenty of time on that one. We've got plenty of strength and depth. He's got serious competition round about him, and Martin Boyle and Kieran Bowie, Ellie Youhan, Junior Hoylett. These are all very good players that all give me something different, which is a fantastic place to be.
In case you didn't realise, there was another game in Edinburgh today. Celtic have lost, so you now have your eyes on Celtic. But during the week, you've got Rangers coming up at Easter Road. That'll be a fantastic occasion, and if you can replicate large parts of that performance, you'll be looking to get another win.
Yeah, that's the mindset going into every game. You try and win every single game. All we can concentrate on is what we're doing right now. I challenged the players at the start of the week. 3 massive games. Is it a chance for us to really kick on now? Can you catch the team in front of you? Right now it's Celtic, and that's what the challenge is now moving forward. Every single game you want to try and win, every game you play in. Every player wants to do that, every coach wants to do that. Difficult game at home to Rangers, they always are, but a brilliant game to look forward to now off the back of 2 very good results and the performance level.
David, thanks very much for your time and well done this evening.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, David Gray chatting to Stephen Craig in there. 3 points just behind Celtic. And as Stephen was saying there, that huge game on Wednesday as well. Rangers currently 3-1 up against Kilmarnock right now. Can they replicate what they saw tonight, or what we saw tonight against the Rangers side? That's a bit of an unknown quantity right now.
Yeah, well, time will tell. I mean, it'll be much harder than it was today, you'd imagine. Rangers, with the new manager, looking to string wins together. But there's no reason why they can't. They've shown they can defend at Celtic Park. They've shown they can be resilient defensively, and they've got the speed in the break. And I think that suits the Hibs team. They've got strengths in their wing backs to crossing the ball in the box and making teams defend. So yeah, they're definitely looking a lot more at themselves. There's no reason why they can't.
They're a well-balanced team, I feel. So even though Rangers are coming to, are going there, it's always going to be a difficult game, and if they can replicate that performance there, they'll cause a lot of problems.
It was interesting as well hearing David Gray talking about being consistent and creating good habits, and that you said it about, we're talking about Grant Hanley in particular, but you know, the defenders in there are going to be pretty downhearted about the fact that they conceded a goal, and that's what you want from your defenders, isn't it?
As you can tell, it's been a big emphasis. He's put it on, David Gray, on the players, and you can tell Grant Hanley's come in and really made a difference in that, and he'll be sitting in there disappointed. It's mad how football works, where you go and get a victory, yet he'll be on the team bus and he'll be running that through his mind. How could I have done better? How could I have defended better? How could I keep a clean sheet? Because as a centre back, a win in a clean sheet is the best feeling. You can't actually beat it. I thought it was interesting the way he spoke about having a 3 in midfield against Aberdeen's 2. Aberdeen's 2 should have actually been a 4, but they never, the 2 10s, you know, Sheesh and Carlson just never played as 10s. They went up against the centre backs far too often and left their 2 midfielders exposed. So Armstrong done some work in there, and but it was too much for him to deal with the 3 Hibs. Yeah,
we saw at times as well, Stuart Armstrong just with that passion, trying to drive things forward. And then looking at it from a Hibs perspective as well, this second goal that proved to be the winner. We thought it might have been Josh Campbell's, but it wasn't. This from Ellie Ewan coming off the bench and just creating something a little bit different. Yeah,
I mean, that's what he gives you, something a little bit different. He's a different profile to some of the strikers that they've got, and it was an outstanding run, and just this is what he can give you when he's on form. He gets his head up, it's brilliant to get past the defence. Dorrington there for me has to take charge. He needs to try and push him out towards the right. He doesn't. He actually stops, gives him the opportunity to run into space, which is, I think, really poor defensively there. Just go across and try and shepherd him out wide.
That little pause there, I don't know who he's trying to keep offside or whatever, or show him down the line, but that pause against somebody with that pace is just, he's absolutely dead in the water there. It looks like he's running in quicksand. He needs to use his momentum and keep running down that side without
just to put him off slightly.
Just push him across to the right.
That side, and you keep the momentum up because you've got the 1 yard lead on him, and you make him do something to stop still.
But that was quality. I mean, the finish, just to calm himself down and then just dink it up and over. It was a great finish.
Yeah, because I was actually wondering at one point if he, I know, warm down, if he was going to drag it back. You know, that just a different option, because he was trying to take Dorrington away, but then I don't actually know who that was that was coming off his left shoulder.
Yeah, he took his time with the finish, but he managed to get it and put it away lovely there. He's still getting made to run after the game there. See that?
He's furious. We did say that Hibs had chances, and you take your pick on what one, because they were like buses at one point.
Yeah, they just kept breaking away.
I mean, that's just way too easy. Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, it's one long ball over the top. It's the one thing Hibs have got abundance of is pace. And you're thinking, can Bowie just put it the opposite corner? He tries to just go too straight.
And Jack Milner just sort of out-muscled a little bit.
Yeah, he is, but we know he's got that power and pace to get him behind, but I just think it has to be better though.
It does.
Has to finish.
It does. I think Jack Milner's been caught unawares there. He's been squared because the ball's just been cleared. It's great defending there for Aberdeen, last-ditch defending, but Hibs probably should have scored that.
Yeah, and then Josh Mulligan getting an opportunity. Again, he was involved in so much today, but then getting his chance. This is the one that was off the bar, wasn't it?
No, it's
over, yeah.
It's a great chance. It's right in the middle of the goal, 18 yards out. It's almost. He needs to take he needs to finish that. That's another good chance.
But let's see, like there, hit the target.
Yeah.
I know. Listen, this is coming from an ex-defender.
Did you do that a lot?
But I just feel that he's got that quality to get it out his feet, can he just
try to do
keep
too
it
much
low?
of it?
Like,
Just
keep
keep
it
it
to
low
the
and put it in
right-hand side.
the side corner there.
It's easy to say that though in the moment, but
It's
you know,
very easy standing
I know,
here
It's very
to
easy to
say
stand
it.
here. And then actually, this one was off the post. We were in a really good position to see this here. You just thought it was inching in. It almost seemed harder to hit the post than actually hit the net.
What a ball! What a setback, and then again, what a ball that is for.
I mean, Nicky Cadden, we know he's got that quality. Michael picked up on it a few times. But this is what I'm talking about from an Aberdeen point of view defensively. We've seen it on Thursday, we've seen it again tonight. It's something that they're going to have to rectify. Because it's way too easy just to play the ball down the line.
Every one of the chances we're seeing here is Aberdeen starting with possession and then just getting
losing it.
on.
Yeah, and then Martin Boyle came on as a substitute. I think Michael had said at one point he thought he was going to just play in the other Hibs player, and it went right over the bar. You don't anticipate if Martin Boyle's in that sort of position that he's going to be putting it over the bar.
Defending for Dorrington again, though, he's far too easy. It's not as if you can say he's tired. He's come on at half time and he looks.
I mean, go and be aggressive. I mean, there's 2v1 there. Somebody has to go and get a block. I did genuinely think when the overlapping run happened, you have to play him in. But
when Nicky Cadden wasn't coming in the left-hand
side. He
side.
showed great feet. He gets inside, but again, you need to hit the target.
Yeah, you've got to score as well. That's 3 or 4 opportunities that have to be goals.
When you look at this, right, and we've spoken a lot about Kieran Bowie, we've spoken an awful lot about Martin Boyle and the threats that they pose. Ellie Yoon's part of that as well. But when you look at the stats, so 1 and 9 for Kieran Bowie, I think it's 1 only as well for Martin Boyle. Yeah. Like, if they were firing on all cylinders, you would imagine thinking about where potentially Hibs could be right now. It's their 2 star centre forwards who are not quite at it.
Yeah, they're not scoring, but I think they will come good. I think Hibs have now sorted the defensive side out, so they're going to be a solid base now, and I think goals will come.
I feel like we've been saying that for a wee while though.
I know, but they were conceding goals. They were scoring. They've been scoring three and two goals in 3 games, and no winning games. Sorry, scoring 3. They scored 2 against Falkirk. Now they've got the solid base. Now you expect.
It's the life of a striker.
Yeah,
what was that?
It's the life of a striker. That's what happens. I mean, some days you can be everything that you touch turns to gold, and others not so much. But as long as you're there creating chances,
we could be looking at it another way. We could be saying they're not scoring goals because their strikers aren't scoring goals, but they're managing to score goals and create chances. So David will be delighted with that.
Thibaut Clige was the one who opened the scoring, and again we spoke about his importance, the ability to create space, but also the strength in this one, because we spoke about the ball through, but again he needs to stand firm, and just that little toe poke past the keeper was it just finished it really well, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think O'Hara does really well first and foremost to be aggressive. You just see here, it's not a foul for me. I think Armstrong can stay on his feet, but Mulligan, he's got this in the locker. He wants to drive forward. It's a lovely weighted pass into Clige's feet. Not only is he strong enough, but he's got the ability to just then lift it. You just see it just there, just enough for a goal.
Yeah, the timing of the pass, the weight of the pass, the touch is brilliant, because I know it's under his feet, but he can't take it any further because the keeper's right there, so he can only take the touch to keep it where it is, and then manage to get. He only needs a touch then to get past the keeper because he knows he'll be close to him. It's a great goal.
It is, especially if you're of a Hibs persuasion. Not so much if your team is in red. And this man, challenging couple of days for him, 6 goals in Greece and 2 today. What's this man thinking? We'll get reaction from Aberdeen after this short break. Welcome back to a quiet Pittodrie at the moment. Wasn't so quiet maybe 20 or so minutes ago. Boos ringing round this place at full time and at half time as well. The fans, they want more, Alan. They demand more. Looking at the stats, they've won 2 this season, 6 defeats. Obviously, the defeat we've mentioned heavily on Thursday, and then the 2-1 victory for Hibs today. What's going through the mind, do you think, of Jimmy Thelin just now? You've been in management yourself recently. What's he thinking down there?
So first of all, having played here and understand the demands here, Aberdeen want to be up there challenging 3rd place and winning cups. So the confusing thing is the league form's not been great recently. Obviously they're down where they don't want to be in the league, but they've won a Scottish Cup. But I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what, we can hear from the Aberdeen manager. He is with Stephen Craigan.
Jimmy, thanks for joining us in Premier Sports. Another defeat, ultimately. It seems as if there's more questions than answers after that game.
Yeah, in one way, yes. I think football is a collective sport, and I'm the manager, and the result is not good enough today. But there is also individual responsibility inside a collective team sport, and I think we need to help some of our players to grow. I think we have to be much more difficult to play against, and what I mean about is this competitive side in the 1-against-1 situations and the way they created their chances today. It's difficult to balance the team even more to protect the situation. So we have a journey to make, like as collective, but also try to help some of our players to take another step in their career right now.
You spoke on Thursday night about the learnings from Athens and try and improve it moving forward. Did you see any kind of improvement this afternoon from Thursday night?
The way we start the game, we have some really good chances, and we also need, of course, we need to be more effective when we create these chances. And to start the game, we did, and then after we didn't score there, then Hibs have momentum in the game, and then again we get some chances. But the way they created the chances is just too easy. It's a long ball against our backline, and we have to find a way to cope with this. Of course, it's my job. And we're trying to rebalance and change the balance of the team to be better in this moment. So I need to focus even more now on this part and also help some of the players to go in these 50-50 situations. Because right now, the opponent has to do more to score. Because all the chances more or less today was similar. They created against us.
You admitted on Thursday night it could have been a lot more than 6. And you have to say this afternoon it could have been a lot more than 2-1 that it was. So your job now is to clearly try and stabilise defensively. Has the back three worked, do you think, since you changed the shape?
Again, for me, it's never about the shape. It's more about which qualities you have and try to balance the team in the best way you can to protect the team in this moment, especially in transitions. So it doesn't matter if it's 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. It's not about that. It's more about, and also how we can support our players to take the steps in this, what they need to do in this moment. And of course also when we're attacking sometimes and we have no pressure on us, how we give away the ball too easy. It's these 2 things that have hurt us these 2 games. Without pressure, and we have the moments and we lose the ball in the wrong moment too easy, but also how we cope in these 50-50 duels.
You got a little bit of light relief when you won 2 league games. It looked as if you'd turned the corner. But defeat on Thursday night, defeat here, clearly the fans and supporters are not happy with that. Conversations within the club, do they start to take place again? Because the pressure never goes away until you can go on to a longer winning run, does it?
No, I think it's the pressure, when we are where we are right now in the league, and I'm the manager, the pressure will, of course we need to win games to have a performance that deserves better results. And that's my focus. I can't control what happens around me, but I have to focus on my job.
Can you turn the results around? Can you turn performances around? I'm sure that's the question that supporters will be asking themselves, and that will be the queries after this game. Can you turn everything around and get moving in the right direction?
I have a strong belief we can that.
What gives you the strong belief in that?
Again, I think like these 2 games we play now, before these 2 games, the Athens and this game, it's looking like we go in the right direction. Then we get really hurt in Athens, and I think our feeling was we were much more ready for this game than we show in some parts today.
You've spoken an awful lot about identity since you've came to the football club. I'm not too sure that performance or even against Athens was the identity you're talking about or the direction that you want to go in.
We don't have this so far. We start moving in one direction, but we have a journey to do to be so intense that we want to be.
Jimmy, thanks very much for your time. Thank you.
Jimmy Thelin talking to Stephen Craig in there. Is he going to get a chance to stabilise, or should he get a chance to stabilise things, Alan?
That's $1 million question. I mean, it's been a difficult start to the season. It's off the back of last season. I think going and winning the Scottish Cup, that's kind of eased the pressure a little bit. But
for how long though?
Exactly, that's my point. You have to win games of football, and I think they're a point above Livingston. Yes, they've got a game over them, but still, they shouldn't be there. I just feel they're far too easy to play against. He's went against everything that he showed us when he first came in as the manager. The way he wanted to play, the style, the formation, everything. He's totally turned it round to something else, and it doesn't look like the squad is capable of playing that way. So he's got a lot of questions that need answered, and quickly, because if not, we all understand football.
We do. What do you? Do you agree?
I think it's worrying the way they're conceding goals, and firstly the way they attack. It doesn't look like they're going to score, and in what I've seen today, they look like they conceded 4, 5 and 6 goals, which is quite worrying. I know confidence would have been down for during the week, but yeah, that was disappointing what I've seen today. I don't know. I mean, it's nowhere near good enough in the league. He knows that. The team know that. So it's.
And you can hear the crowd as well.
You can hear the crowd. The crowd are not happy. They're not going to put up that much longer. I know the Scottish Cup's given a bit of breathing room, and he's won a Scottish Cup. That's what the fans here want to see, cups, but they also want to see them up there in third and challenging for European positions, and that they're not doing that. So
I really thought it was interesting when he spoke about the fact that it's not about shape. It's about people taking individual responsibility as well, which you understand that, but then what's it about decision making?
Well, I think when he says that there, I look at Dorrington there for the second half defending for the second goal.
What did that look like to you?
That
schoolboy.
Yeah, it was weak.
But that's me only being honest. I just feel the manager's basically saying it's nothing to do with the shape. Whether it's a 4, whether it's a 3, it doesn't matter. He said, I put the boys out there and I expect them to go and do a job. You need to be a leader out there, take responsibility for your own actions as soon as you cross the white line. That's not happening, and that's a problem. So you have to get back to basics, do it well, and then build from that. Unfortunately, they're not doing that at this moment.
He spoke about duels there and winning individual duels. Stuart Armstrong was the one player today that put his cell about. You see him down here with Josh Mulligan, put his shoulder and won the ball. If more showed that aggression and attitude and determination, then they wouldn't be in that position.
But what gets you to the point when you're in a situation like this, and I don't have to highlight again what's happened on Thursday and tonight, what changes it? Do you have
mentality.
But how do you get that?
It's confidence, isn't it?
You have to take it on board yourself. Yeah, but these are professional footballers. They've been asked to give them a job. Yeah, maybe confidence is low, but you build back in slowly and surely. Like, you understand that you can play this game, but the manager's going to ask you a certain job to do, and then you have to move forward. But it's little sections at a time to build on that confidence. Okay, well, let's have a look at how things stood this weekend. We know how it finished here. It was a 2-1 victory for Hibernian against Aberdeen, and Hearts extend their lead at the top of the table after that 3-1 victory over Celtic. And at Ibrox, a 3-1 win for Danny Rowe's first competitive game in the Scottish Premiership against Kilmarnock. Let's have a look at how this leaves the table. Hearts, the fans delighted at Tynecastle after that convincing result, it's got to be said. Convincing,
Charlie.
yeah, I thought so.
You'd be quick to chip in. 25 points they sit in right now. And if you're a Hibs fan heading back down the road to Edinburgh from here in Aberdeen, you will be pleased to see the team sitting in third place, 14 points, just 3 points behind Celtic, but Aberdeen, not great for them, just a point in front of Livingston, who are rooted to the bottom of the table. Thank you so much for your company this evening. It was Hibs night. We'll see you again next weekend. It's semi-final weekend at Hampden. See you there.